Another episode of Big Deke News, episode 14, Sunday, January 23rd. We got a lot of stuff to talk about in this one. The obvious topic to lead Big Deke News, Keith Butler, Steelers defensive coordinator for the past 7 years, has officially announced his retirement. Thank you, Coach Butler, for your time here in Pittsburgh. He also served as the Steelers linebackers coach from 2003 to 2014, where he was a two-time Super Bowl champion. And in those 2000s years, that linebacking core he was coaching was absolutely elite, and could we say, looking back, that was the best linebacking core in the NFL throughout that stretch? Joey Porter, James Harrison, Lamar Woodley, James Ferrier, Larry Foote, Clark Haggans, Lawrence Timmons. The list can go on and on. Keith Butler was no doubt a huge part of the reason for that success. As DC, I'd say Butler was solid, not perfect. We could probably point to injuries as a reason why that defense necessarily didn't live up to its potential during his run. Also point to personnel not being up to snuff. But you also see that stat where we led the NFL in sacks over the past 5 seasons and had 50 plus in each of them. I don't think that's nothing to sneeze at. I'd say my top moment for Butler's defense was the Rams game back in 2019. The defense literally won us that game, and the Rams offense actually at the time was considered kind of high powered. The Steelers won 17-12. But the defense really only gave up 3 points because the Steelers' offense gift-wrapped the Rams 9 points off a botched snap early in the game and also a safety. Defense also picked off Goff twice, and I'll never forget the Minka fumble recovery return back to the house. And for context purposes, we needed that defensive performance badly considering how our offense was playing in 2019. We were 500 going into that game, so we definitely needed that dub to stay afloat and keep our playoff hopes alive. Let me know down in the comments if you have a favorite defensive moment with Butler at the helm. And I just checked the odds for who will be the Steelers' next defensive coordinator. Terrell Austin is minus 100,000. Let's talk some hockey. We have a hockey afternoon in Pittsburgh. Puck drop at 1 o'clock. Penguins take on the Winnipeg Jets. Penguins' record is 25-10-5, whereas the Jets are 17-14-6. This is the third game in 4 days for the Jets, and it's coming off a back-to-back. I guess technically you could say the same thing about the Penguins being the third game in 4 days, but what's good in the Penguins' favor is that they have some rest in between for this one. In terms of history between these two teams, there's a stat that definitely favors the Penguins. Over the past 32 games, the Jets are 5-27 when playing in Pittsburgh. Now, they got some decent players, Kyle Connor, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Blake Wheeler, but Penguins have way more firepower and the better goalie in Jarry. That's especially the case assuming that the Jets will be going with their backup goalie in this one due to their back-to-back game situation. Now, you may be watching this while the Penguins are actually playing or potentially after. I just wanted to add some perspective as to how good this team is playing in 2021 midway through the season, especially considering the circumstances. Shout out to Josh Getzoff for this tweet. Says, Pens hit the midway point in game number 41 Sunday against Winnipeg. They will have played 34 games without Malkin, 12 without Crosby, 22 without Russ, 6 without Gensel, 6 without Sullivan, and 3 without Letang. Also says they are 1 point out of first in the Metro. I think that updated. I think the Penguins are actually 3 points out right now, but also includes their 4 points back of the top spot in the NHL. And to add to that, shout out to Michael Patrick McCracken for one of his comments in my recent videos. I think he sums up the vibes pretty well for this 2021 Penguins team. He says they're a lot more consistent than last year, and the timing is now because we got a ton of guys that'll be unrestricted free agents. Let's win this damn cup. Are we sure we have to talk Pitt hoops? I honestly wouldn't blame you for turning off the news right now. I'm watching Pitt Clemson on my phone up at the bowling alleys in between the divisional games, and it got to the point where I'm just hoping that we could beat the spread. I mean, I had Pitt +9. They were down double digits in the second half. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe they could close the gap a little bit. But there was no real reason for hope because all I was seeing was an abysmal offense from Pitt. It was bad shooting and then turnovers left and right. There was a flash in the first half where Hughley tied it up with a 3, but ultimately it got overturned because he didn't get it off before the shot clock. And also a scenario in the second half where Pitt started off hot, got it within 6. But that just kind of goes to show how bad this game was for the Panthers because I'm talking about them almost tying it up, and also a scenario where they got it within 6 points as bright spots. That's not good. Hughley added his 15 points, and Burton and Odekale also were in double digits, but they were inefficient from the field, and Burton fouled out with 7 minutes left in the game. Outside of them, basically no one else on Pitt did anything. I don't know where Pitt goes from here. Literally, I'm not even going to check the next game on their schedule. I'll find that out later. But that's it for Big Deke News in terms of investments and betting. Obviously, I lost yesterday. But for today's game, I think I'm going to do some live betting. So follow me on Twitter. I'll keep you up to date for that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay chilling. Peace.